A storm is coming. I wanted to make a video discussing some things I've seen in my everyday life and my work life that indicates that, to me anyways, maybe we are not standing on solid ground. I know a lot of you guys feel it and maybe sense it and see it in your everyday lives, and maybe you're pressed at the end of the month because it's just getting a little bit harder in almost every aspect of life. And this video is trying to consolidate what I've been seeing and then talking about what I've personally been doing to prepare for the future, regardless of how the economy is. Just some steps that I'm personally taking. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. With that being said, I'm no financial expert by any means, and this is not financial or life advice. It's just a conversation I'm wanting to have with my viewers and also kind of dig deeper into things on this channel that I don't do on my main channel. And the first thing I want to talk about, and the first indicator that I've seen, is over the past 6 months, pawn shops are full again. Yeah, gun shops and pawn shops that I've been going to are full again. The shelves used to be cleared. You used to not be able to find what you wanted to find. Inventory was low, prices were high, and you could always purchase something, or you could always bring something in and sell it and trade around and acquire something. I've been noticing though that the shelves are full, that a lot of the shops I'm going to stopped buying certain things, and they really more particular on their loans. That indicates the bottom tier of the banking structure, the loan economy based on handing something in, like this block of gold, and getting a loan on it, or handing in a TV and getting a loan on it. That market is getting saturated, picky, and it's getting flooded. That was the first indicator. Then the next indicator that I wanted to discuss was credit card debt. Now, this is a pretty interesting article from LendingTree, and I'll try to link all my sources in the description below so you guys can read it. But the credit card statistics that I want to discuss is the credit card debt. Since the second quarter of 2021, credit card debt balances have risen by $100 billion. That's a 13% increase and the largest year-over-year jump in more than 20 years. So the overall credit card debt really peaked in 2019, which set a record. I feel like that credit card debt, though, might have been out of confidence. Everybody's confident at this point. So they're spending, and they're spending money because they know money's coming in. I feel like this new credit card increase is out of necessity. And I feel like there's a huge difference between swiping that credit card because you know you're going to pay it off and swiping that credit card because you can't afford what you're buying with cash. I see that increase, and you can go through the LendingTree article. You can see inflation is high, which is another indicator we all can see. I mean, and no rocket scientist to take that. There's a chip shortage going on right now, and you can read articles and articles about the chip shortage. In my personal day job in the manufacturing sector, we are running out of small electric motors. We're running out of small fans. And then when you're looking at something like that, when I'm pulling up my parts list, you'll see the motor you normally use. For instance, it's this type of motor spinning at this type of speed. So this will go out of stock. Lead time 42 weeks. The motor above that, it'll start dwindling, and the motor below that. Maybe their variances slightly and you can use those. Well, now these are out of stock. Lead time 50 weeks. Then you move up, and that motor, and that motor. And I'm starting to get a gap now where motors are twice as fast or not the correct torque ratio. And we are making sacrifices knowing that the only way we can possibly produce something is trying out one of these motors, going through a very long testing protocol, which costs money to prove that these motors work just as good, which then increases the price of the product. And you see these part shortages are having a direct relationship with manufacturing shortages and manufacturing prices. The cost of doing business is going up because you didn't just have to buy a new motor, you had to do a new test protocol and a new test plan. My point is, that hasn't gone away. In what I've seen in my manufacturing sector, small electronics are even harder to get now than before. In my main job, when I'm reviewing, or my side job, where I'm reviewing optics and things like that, batches of optics used to come in by the thousands. Now they come in by the hundreds. I reviewed an optic a while back, and they only had like 330 pieces come in stock for a new release. It's kind of unheard of to me. 2 years ago, they would always drop about 1,000 optics when they knew something was going to do well. But again, we're experiencing shortages. High cost of items, high credit card debt, shortages still existing and persistent in the market, and small lenders raising rates. I feel like it's setting up us up for a storm. So what am I doing? I don't want to complain the whole time, and I never want to keep making these videos time and time again, being alarmist, giving no solutions. I am personally eliminating all credit card debt. I'm stopping making that bigger purchase. I'm holding off on purchasing something that I wanted to purchase just for fun, and I'm paying off debt. Eliminating debt. In fact, I'm actually debt free. But occasionally I'll spend something, I'll leverage a little debt, and then I'll pay it off. So that's what I'm personally doing. Is that right for you? Maybe not. Maybe you guys have good debt, as they call it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What is good debt? But that's the first thing I'm doing. So if something collapses, I don't have to worry about making payments on something I've already owned. I just have to worry about what I'm getting in the future, and I feel like that's a great step. You know, we could all Dave Ramsey this guy and really eliminate some of our debt. I'm also diversifying. I grab a little gold and silver every once in a while, but I wait till it's low. I don't buy gold and silver out of panic. I buy gold and silver when it's really low. Same thing. My 401k has lost an insane amount of value, and I think I checked it right before this video, and I lost 13% of my 401k's value in the past, I think it was the past 6 months. So I'm trying to diversify. That 401k will bounce right back up, maybe, maybe not, but I don't have all my eggs in that one basket. Having physical gold and silver or virtual gold and silver is always a great option to kind of hedge against inflation. But again, you don't want to buy it when it's super high and then the price drops. You know, there's a whole world of crypto that I'm starting to dabble in, but right now crypto is really low. Maybe that's right for you to diversify. Crypto could be a Ponzi scheme and collapse in on itself. But if you start leveraging different assets, especially physical assets, you can really diversify it. So if everything does collapse or one part of the economy collapses, you have the ability to kind of go in. I'm definitely not one of those guys that says leverage your entire 401k for silver and gold, because then you're not going to have growth. Those are just some of the things that I'm doing. And I also want to kind of give you guys some of these indicators, because I know it's easy to just swipe that credit card. It's easy to just keep on buying and buying, but I feel like a storm is coming, and there are some great preparedness opportunities that you can still do right now. In fact, there's little things that I do also that we never thought we would need, or a lot of people in this community might have thought we needed, but maybe didn't necessarily act on. I can remember in the past 2 years going to the grocery store and not being able to get what I needed to get. I'm not saying buy a shed and fill it with food, but I am saying it would be really convenient if you had a month's supply of basic canned goods and a way to heat them up with a propane stove or something like that. That was super simple, and you didn't have to shift your way of life if for some reason you didn't have access to the grocery store for a period of time. I also see things like we just took delivery of a vehicle. The delivery drivers had delayed that because there weren't enough drivers, is what the dealership told us, to get the vehicle to where we needed it. And it took them an extra 5 to 6 days because they couldn't find a truck driver. These things are not going away. They're compounding on themselves. So in a nutshell, I would be limiting, and then what I'm doing, limiting my purchases to necessities, letting those little extras go away. Also investing time in skills and the ability to do things. When you look at the used car market, it would be really nice if you started doing the things to your car yourself. If you know how to change the oil, do basic maintenance so you weren't having to pay somebody to do that. Learning new skills like woodworking and things like that. Every time I'm working on the range down in the land, I'm always trying to learn new skills, new abilities, get a new tool to increase the productivity of my time down there at the range. So getting those new tools, getting those new abilities, and those new skills is a great thing. And I hope to do a lot more education on this channel as well when it comes to different camping and survival and different situations like that, and we'll kind of learn together. So I know this was an interesting video. I know it was a different video. Let me know your thoughts. Is this something you want to see? Is this something you want to talk about? Is this something you want to discuss? If it doesn't interest you at all, we'll kind of go back to the normal fun camping, knife reviews, EDC gear reviews, kind of something like that. But I also want to use this as a discussion page for our community to kind of be better prepared for the years to come, whether the economy is doing absolutely amazing or maybe it's not such on stable ground. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.